All right, guys, what a win. What a win. What a win. The Jaguars defeat the Tennessee Titans in Nashville by a score of 36-22. The Jaguars improved to 5-8 and the Titans dropped to 7-6. The Jaguars are actually right back into the playoff race, and we're going to talk about that toward the end of the video. For now, we're going to talk about this game, man. The Jaguars snap a 5-game losing streak against our arch rival, the Tennessee Titans. And it's the first win in Tennessee since 2013. Boy, how much different all of our lives were back in 2013. And the Jaguars finally were able to get a win over Nashville, as that freaking stadium has been a house of horrors for us. And like I always say, man, the Jaguars only get 2 wins in the entire year. Let those wins be against the Tennessee Titans, because us Jaguar fans, we just do not like them. I mean, they're an AFC South rival for us. I know none of us really like any of the AFC South teams, but I think this team has a special place in our hearts, mainly just for the kind of dominance that they've been able to assert over us. But hopefully the tides are changing, because you know what the Jaguars have that the Tennessee Titans do not have? The Jaguars have Trevor freaking Lawrence. The Jaguars have an elite franchise quarterback. Trevor Lawrence killed it this game. These kind of games are why the Jaguars were able to win games. And it's because, if your quarterback has these awesome games, Trevor Lawrence he was 30 of 42, which is a 71% completion percentage, 368 passing yards, which is a career high for him, 3 touchdowns versus zero interceptions. And he also had a rushing touchdown. He was outstanding. I mean, you look at him on the season. Actually, these aren't updated. Never mind. He has more than that on the season. He officially passed 3,000 passing yards, which is awesome. He has 20 passing touchdowns on the year, 6 interceptions. So he's been really good. And especially if you look at the last 5 weeks, since week 9, Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars are 3-2. Trevor Lawrence has thrown for 1,300 yards, 72.3% completion percentage, 10 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. And at this point, it's hard to find many quarterbacks that are playing better than Trevor Lawrence right now. And I made a video a couple weeks ago. Look, Trevor Lawrence has arrived. This game really doesn't surprise me. And if at this point, if you're one of those people that are kind of doubting Trevor Lawrence, you're just a hater. I mean, that's what it is at the end of the day, because he's putting up consistently good games. He's been able to be really the bright spot for the Jaguars. And, you're seeing a player that not only is getting better, but he's now confident in the playbook. And now you see confidence in him when it comes to his interactions with the other team. I mean, this game, he's waving goodbye to Titans fans. He's at the end of the game, when the Tennessee defensive line was kind of get a little over aggressive on a kneel down, he got right into their faces and gave him the business, as Ron Cherry would say. He's awesome. I mean, he really is. And it's good to see him really just growing before our eyes. I mean, I know a lot of people were kind of low on him for a while, but man, this is what a game he put together. And it's just awesome to see. Trevor Lawrence is here. He's arrived. And, the Jaguars have Trevor Lawrence. The Tennessee Titans do not. They are going to continue to struggle with Ryan Tannehill, and Ryan Tannehill will never be able to take that team over the hump. Now, when you look at other individual performances, Evan Ingram, awesome game, 11 receptions for 162 yards, 2 touchdowns. That was a career day for Evan Ingram. That was a career day for the Jacksonville Jaguars. No tight end has ever had over 100 receiving yards as well as 2 touchdowns, and no tight end for the Jaguars have ever put up 162 receiving yards. Just a really impressive game by Evan Ingram. Zay Jones had a couple of drops, but at the end of the day, his stats were great. 8 receptions, 77 yards, had that awesome touchdown toward the end of the game when it was tipped, and he caught it. It was it was right before halftime, I guess I should say. As time was expiring. So awesome job by him. Christian Kirk put up a game of 5 receptions, 45 yards. Agnew 3 for 36. Agnew had a few really, really clutch catches. So overall, I mean, the game was good on the offense. The rushing game left a lot to be desired. ETN, 17 rushes for 32 yards. I don't know what it is. Maybe it was a matchup thing, because as we all knew going into this game, Tennessee Titans are a pass funnel. You're going to beat the Tennessee Titans by passing the ball. And the Jaguars tried to go out there and do a balanced attack, but yeah, the run game just wasn't going anywhere. And really, we're seeing ETN cool off a lot. It's been a while since we've really seen ETN just get after it. And I know a lot of it's because the offensive line isn't great at run blocking, and it's a little bit better at pass blocking. And it's not even that it's all that great at pass blocking. It's just Trevor Lawrence knows how to navigate around the pocket really well. So offensively, it was awesome stuff. Trevor Lawrence, like I said, man, now he's getting more confident. He's moving around the pocket really well. That one throw to Agnew along the sidelines. He's just doing a better job of improvising, and it's awesome to see that he is taking ownership of this offense, and he looks like he's really comfortable in it. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, it started off a little bit scary. Look, the Titans received the ball to start the game. First drive was a touchdown for the Titans. The Jaguars got the ball 3 and out. It was like, uh-oh. Tennessee Titans got the ball back, and they fumbled the ball. It was a strip sack, and then Jaguars got the ball back, and they scored a touchdown. And then Tennessee later took that ball down and scored a touchdown once they got the ball back. So the Jags were down 14-7, even though they were +2 in the turnover differential. It was a little bit worrisome. I'm not going to lie. But then you looked at it, and after the Titans scored 14 points in the first quarter, they didn't score again until the fourth quarter in garbage time, when the defense was just playing prevent. They just drove down and scored a touchdown. The Jaguars defense completely shut them out. They forced 4 turnovers, the Jaguars defense did. Trayvon Walker had the strip sack. He finally looks like he did something. I don't know what the deal with his ankle is. He didn't finish the game. We'll have more reports on that to come. Dewey Wingard had an interception. Shaq Quarterman, I should say, forced a fumble. So we have a couple of backups going in there and causing turnovers. Arden Key recovered a fumble. So it's just the turnover thing. With the defense, man, we don't need a perfect game from the defense. The defense can allow touchdowns, whatever. But you know what you need from the defense? Every once in a while, you need a big sack. Every once in a while, you need a big turnover. Every once in a while, you need to force the other team to go 3 and out. The Jaguars defense against the Lions did none of that. They did none of that. And, the defense wasn't perfect against the Ravens, but, they were holding them tight. They weren't letting them score touchdowns in the red zone. They had a couple of turnovers. Overall with defense, you don't need perfect games, but you need splash plays, man. It's the same from the offense. The offense can't just, 5 yards per carry all the way down the field. Ideally they can, but the offense, they need some splash plays. It's the same exact thing for the defense. Look, the defense can have its struggles, but they need to be able to get sacks, they need to be able to, get turnovers, all that kind of stuff. So no complaints on the defense. They, held the Titans scoreless in the second and third quarter. And, Derrick Henry actually had a career first quarter. In the first quarter, Derrick Henry had 96 rushing yards. It was like, uh-oh. And then the second quarter, Derrick Henry had 23 rushing yards. Slowed down a little bit. Then the second half, Derrick Henry had 2 rushing yards. 2 rushing yards. That's this much. Yeah, that's this much because my wingspan is 6 feet. So that's 2 rushing yards. This is all Derrick Henry had the second half. They held him down. Of course, Titans were kind of forced to probably play more of passing, but that's what you need to do on the Titans. You need to get up on them and force them into the situation where Ryan Tannehill, a bad quarterback, has to go out there and throw to receivers who I don't even know the names of. They have an old Robert Woods out there. They don't have Treylon Burks. They had Chris Conley out there. I was like, oh, Chris Conley has dreads now. Good to see him again. It was, we got them right where we wanted them. Now, a few standouts that I want to kind of shout out. Foye Oluokun had another good game, 10 tackles. Foye Oluokun, he was a pretty good free agent signing. He led the NFL in tackles last year. I don't know where he is this year, but he's all around the ball. He's always getting tackles. Shout out to him. Dewey Wingard, 6 tackles, had an interception himself. He's just seems like a good football player. Coaching staffs keep him around. He was here under Doug Marrone. He stuck around under Urban Meyer. And then now, even with Doug Peterson, he sticks around. He's not a guy that was a high draft pick where they have a little bit of recency bias on him. He's just turned into, I think a lot more fans are liking him now. I mean, he's just, you like the players that make plays and find themselves around the ball, and interception, that's a big thing. Josh Allen, he had a pretty critical sack, and he also had a fumble recovery when Quarterman forced it out. So overall, not a perfect game, but hey, you got four turnovers, man. That's awesome. You can't ask for more of the defense, and shutting down Derrick Henry in the second half. Awesome stuff. Tannehill, 25 or 38 this game. That's like a 65% completion percentage, 254 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interceptions. This game, if it was a debate, it got into this game that Trevor Lawrence is the best quarterback in the AFC South. Now, granted, it's really only a two-way battle because Houston and the Colts do not have a quarterback right now. Both of them will probably be, probably trying to draft one in 2023. So that's one to look at. Patterson this game, good game kicking, 3 for 3 on field goals, 3 for 3 on extra points. Now we can end this off really just talking about the playoff race, man. A couple days ago, yesterday I was like, look, kiss the playoffs goodbye. We're done. But now Jaguars have a game like this and it pulls us back in. Now, the Jaguars right now are 5-8, and they're 2 games behind the Tennessee Titans for the AFC South spot. The Jaguars' upcoming schedule, they're home to the Cowboys. They play in New York against the New York Jets on Thursday Night Football, at Houston, then home against Tennessee. When you compare that to the Tennessee schedule, it's very similar. Titans play in Los Angeles against the Chargers. They host the Texans, then they host the Cowboys, and then they play in Jacksonville. So when you look at this thing, man, the Jaguars clearly need to win the last game. I mean, when you look at this from a holistic standpoint, the Jaguars need to win out, and the Titans need to lose either against the Chargers, Houston, or Cowboys. And then obviously against the Jaguars. Then the Jaguars win the AFC South. Now that's tricky. It's very hard. I mean, being like, okay, boom, 4-game winning streak, that's all right. You can do that. It's going to be really, really difficult. But the Jaguars do have life here on December 11th in 2022 to make it. So, and the Titans aren't playing very well. Look, after this stinker, they have to go to LA to play the Chargers. Not going to be easy. Houston, that should be pretty easy game. I mean, Houston almost beat the Dallas, but if we're looking at it, they should win that one. They also played Dallas. Dallas is a good team. Both Jaguars and them played Dallas, and then they had to come to Jacksonville. So Titans are not playing very good. 3-game losing streak, 2 games in a row where they get blown out. But also, not only is the AFC South race not wrapped up, also the wild card really isn't, man. If you look at it right now, the Jaguars are 2 games behind the Jets, and the Jets are holding that 7th wild card spot. The Jaguars actually play the Jets, so they could potentially have that head-to-head if it were to come to that. You look at the teams ahead of us. Number 8 is New England. Number 9 is the Chargers, and number 10 is the Jaguars in a wild card hunt. The Jaguars actually already have the tiebreaker over the Chargers, so and even the Titans play the Chargers. So I mean, either way, that one of those teams are going to lose next week. So the ideal way to get in is through the easier way mathematically is getting in through the AFC South, getting in through the AFC South way. But you never know, man. You never know. So I know I'm not going to be running to Vegas and putting money on the Jaguars doing it, but we're fans. It's fun to feel like we're not playing meaningless football. We played a lot of meaningless football, but the Jaguars right now, 3-2 over the last 5 games. They're playing better football. We're seeing, clearly our quarterback is playing at an elite level right now. And, our receivers are doing pretty well. We only have that great of a receiving group, but Trevor Lawrence is turning them into a good receiving group. And as long as our defense can just be formidable, go out there and get some turnovers, get some sacks, like get some 3-and-outs, then, we have a chance in any one of these games. So should be exciting down the stretch. But overall, when you look at this, man, the Jaguars beat the Titans in Nashville today. First time since 2013. We destroyed them. The score, the Jaguars won by 14, but it was not as close as the score looks. I mean, the Jaguars dominated from quarters 2 to the final whistle. So it was awesome stuff. Hopefully, next year when you look at it, the Jaguars should be favorites to win the AFC South in a lot of different, pre-season polls or whatever you call it. So with all that said, let me know what you guys think of this one, man. Drop your Duvals down below. I want to see a bunch of Duval comments down here. Really want to see it because the Jaguars just beat the Titans. It's a good day. So with all that said, I really do appreciate all you guys for watching. Drop a like for me. Go Jags.